Today, we're turning fear into triumph. I'm gonna share two personal stories with you that will inspire you to just say screw it and lean into the fear and lean into the tension and lean into the uncertainty when it comes to dealing with women. Let's jump right into it. Now, this first story is one of my favorite stories. I'm at a Fearless workshop. This is earlier on as a Fearless student. We go out to this bar called The Bungalow. I know you've heard me talk about The Bungalow a lot, but The Bungalow is a cool place to go. It's one of the few bars you can go to where the music's not too loud, where you can actually hear people, you can actually hold a conversation. But I got into this interaction, really cute girl. There was 3 people in this group. There was this cute girl, single, her friend, and her friend's boyfriend. So I walk up and I start chatting with her, the single girl, right? And we start chatting as a group. We're chatting for about 10 or 15 minutes. It's going pretty good. I can see Dave out the corner of my eye. He's kind of just checking on me, seeing how it's going. And at some point in that interaction, I would say probably about, I don't know, about 15 minutes in, I start to get into my head and I start to overthink things. And at some point I get really uncomfortable because I feel like I'm running out of things to say. And what do? I self-reject. And so I find a reason to leave the interaction. And so anyways, I left the interaction. I made it back into the main hall. And I ended up running into Dave. And Dave was like, how did it go? It looked pretty good. She was really interested in you. And I was like, yeah, it did seem like that at first. I couldn't really tell, but I was like, I ran out of things to say. I didn't know what to say next. He was like, okay. He's like, cool. Well, go back in there and keep talking to her. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, go back in there and keep talking to her. And to me, that terrified me because I was like, I got really weird at the end when I went to my head and I could feel it. And I feel like if I go back into this interaction, it's going to be weird because I'm showing back up again. And I was already weird in it. And he was just like, yeah, those are your stories. You need to go back in there anyway because she was really interested in you. And I was like, oh, this is going to be nerve-wracking. So anyways, I made my way back to talk to them. They were in a different location at this point. Walk right up. She just started chatting me up, just like that. The minute I walked up, she started chatting with me. So we're hanging out right next to the dance floor. We're chatting it up. She's really invested, really interested in me, asking me questions, and she's a really, really good-looking girl. So at some point, we made our way to the dance floor, and I don't dance because I'm absolutely terrible at dancing. I'm very stiff. So anyways, we get on the dance floor. I dance for about 5 minutes with her, and the one thing that keeps running through my mind is that Dave was just like, she's into you. She's into you. She's into you. And so I'm having this internal battle with my nice guy, right, with myself saying that, yes, she likes me, but she's not that into me like that. And so we're dancing, she's rubbing it against me, getting really close. And so I know something's going on, right? I'm like, okay, this is getting really close, but I'm in my head about it. It's not clicking for me yet. And I remember having this moment of just like, you know what? I need to fucking grab her and kiss her. Because if I don't, I'm going to ruin this moment potentially. And I may be off a little bit. I may go for the kiss and she may not like it. She may just push it away. But I need to figure this out. And so at some point, she's rubbing it against me, looks right into my eyes. I grab her, I pull her in, and we just start making out for a good 5 minutes like animals on the dance floor. And I can see Dave kind of hiding behind a tree. He's on the cell phone, but he's looking at me, looks over at me and starts smiling. And I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? And that was just a really great interaction for me because it really allowed me to realize that I don't know shit. And an interaction is not really over until it's over. Just because you self-ejected doesn't mean that that's the end-all, be-all. You can show back up, and actually if you show back up a little more confident than you were initially, it could actually really work in your favor. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where you're at a club and you're talking to a group of girls or you're talking to a girl and somehow it ends and then you're the one who ends it, like you get really weird and nervous or run out of things to say, don't be shy. Go back and reopen it up if you see her again. Chances are the energy might have shifted a little bit for you and for her. And when you show back up, it's fresh energy. And all of a sudden, they re-engage with you very, very, very quickly. And you also might find yourself in these moments where you're overthinking it, especially when it comes to the part where it's like, should I touch? Should I kiss? Sometimes you need to say screw it. Actually, most times you need to say screw it and lean in towards it and see how it goes. And it'll probably work to your favor in a lot of cases. And if it doesn't, it still doesn't mean she doesn't want to kiss you or get intimate with you. It may just mean not right then and there. So anyways, me and her exchanged numbers. We ended up hanging out a couple weeks later, and it was just a really great time. So the second story is by far my favorite story. by far one of my favorite experiences I've ever had. Meeting a girl at a bungalow and then spending a good amount of time with her outside of the venue. So here's the thing. So I'm at the bungalow this day. I'm not in the workshop. I'm down there by myself. I'm down there and I see this beautiful girl and she's got curves in all the right spots. She's got a great body, a great face, and a great smile. And I just can't stop looking at her. And I run into her probably about 3 or 4 times in passing. And I might have said hi to her at some point, and she said hi back. But I just knew that I was still being very passive. Like, I was here, but I was being very passive. And the reason I was being passive was because of this. Because she was one of those girls that she stood out, that you know that every guy there saw her. And if you were going to be engaging with her, you knew that everybody was going to be watching you engage with her. So to me, on the tension scale, it was through the roof. And my nervous system was starting to go through the roof. Like, I was starting to get very anxious. And I remember just thinking to myself, man, hey, so this is one of those situations where this is the girl that you want and you're being very passive right now. So you have to make a decision that you're going to talk to her at some point. And man, when I made that decision, did the tension really pile on, man? It started to get really, really tense. And so at some point, I'm talking to somebody and I see her in a group of other girls and they're chatting it up. And I said to myself, you're going to have to turn around and talk to her. And I was starting to feel very nervous as usual, right? So I had this moment of like, fuck it. If I turn around and she doesn't want to talk, that's cool. But she was pretty responsive when I said hi to her earlier, so I'm going to do it anyway. So I looked at her and I said, hey, that dress looks good on you. And she gave me this huge smile. It was like, really? And then she started showing it off. And I said, yeah, it looks super good on you. And then so we dropped into a conversation for like 5 or 10 minutes, but it was a really connected conversation. And I found out that she was from Brazil. No surprise, right? She had this curve, she had that smile. So anyways, we started talking for about 10 minutes. She was super invested. I was super invested. Ended up getting her number. So we ended up texting that whole night, text the whole next day. She had actually driven out to San Francisco with her friends, and they were going to come back to LA in a day or two. So she comes back to LA 2 days later, and we ended up getting an Airbnb together and just hanging out for like 3 days. Went to Magic Mountain, hung out, had a really great time. And she went back to Brazil. And then a year later, I went to go see her in Brazil. I flew out there to go see the Carnival Festival and got a chance to hang out with her. So the fuck it moments are the defining moments of your life. The fuck it moments are the moments that are going to be the moments that give you the exact thing that you've been looking for, the exact thing that you've been wanting. And at the very least, you get a lesson from it. So if you guys are in situations where you're just stuck and you're scared and you want to do this thing, or that you know you should do it because of your growth, but you're just not taking the leap, just say screw it. Try it. What's the worst that can happen? Reach over, tap that girl on the arm, give her a compliment. If you see a girl in the aisle at a grocery store, go down that aisle and give her a compliment. If you see her anywhere else, give her a compliment. Just say, hey, I like that on you. I think that's very beautiful. I just wanted to come tell you I thought you were very beautiful. Do it, because you don't know what can come from it. Now, I hope this inspires you to go out and actually kill it. If you guys are wanting to master your approaching skills, get out there and approach, maybe you have some resistance, maybe you used to do it years ago, but you don't do it anymore, or maybe you don't have any experience with approaching at all, but you want to start. I got a program. It's called 30 Days to Approaching Freedom that starts on November 13th and runs through December 12th. In this program, we do 2 Zoom calls a week, Monday and Friday. And Friday calls, you get to work with models one-on-one, have a conversation with them, get live feedback from the models, but also live feedback from me and what I see when you're conversing and engaging with the models. Also, there's a WhatsApp group. I capped this thing off at 10 guys so that everybody gets the most personalized coaching possible within the structure of the group. So if this is something that you want to do, you want to actually have support when you go out and master your approaching so you can actually start getting results, get that girlfriend, have that date, have that incident you want, bring a girl back to your place, then reach out. The link is in the description. Set up a call with me in my Calendly, and let's hop on a call. Let's see where you're at in your approaching, why you're not getting the results that you want, why you're stuck where you are right now, and how we can get you moving in the right direction to get you where you want. Anyways, guys, I love you. I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy and peace.